Hey, Brian, can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir. Here you fine.
Awesome. Hey, congrats, man. Thanks for jumping on with us.
No problem. Thank you guys.
This will be pretty quick. So you're on with our local media right now, and we'll kick it off and start with questions, and we'll start with Matt Derrick from Chiefs Digest. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Brian, congratulations.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Hey, and Brad, I'll have a second question too, but just to start off, Brian, what was your night like? What was your draft night situation, and what went through your mind when you got the call from the Chiefs?
Well, start off your first question. I think it was a different type of feeling for me. I've been playing the game since I was 4 years old, so I think moments like this people dream of. I think the biggest thing for me is to be able to enjoy it with my family. So that was kind of definitely a great moment. And then once the phone call, it's kind of ironic. It's kind of like people ask you, "You good? You good?" I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine." And the call happened, and everything went to black noise, and just you basically I start hearing my heartbeat again. So talking to the coaches and talking to the staff and hearing my name being called was feeling that a moment I never forget the rest of my life. So basically, the picture, long story short, that's how that kind of went for me.
And second, you had a shoulder injury that kind of limited you a little bit during the draft process and everything. How is the shoulder doing? And do you feel like you're going to be 100% when the report for the rookie minicamp?
Yeah, shoulder's fine. I'm ready to go, Coach.
Let's go next to Dave Scretto with the AP. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Brian, congratulations. The Chiefs like to use a lot of three safety sets. They like to use their safeties in a lot of different roles. Have they talked to you at all about where they see you fitting in initially and down the road?
No, not necessarily. But they put great things together. They have a phenomenal scheme as well as staff. So I'm pretty sure whatever they have for me coming in is going to be the best opportunity, not just for myself, but also for the team to win. I'm just ready to be able to help the teams get those W's.
Go next to Nate Taylor with the Athletic. Go ahead, Nate.
Well, Brian, congratulations. With the pre-draft process, just how much conversations did you have with the Chiefs, and what was your just thoughts on what they sort of envision you doing as a rookie?
I think that they're if I'm being honest, their talks came earlier, not towards me. I say like earlier, not towards me like one-on-one. It's more of a just by ear type deal. But it was a place where it's kind of like you look at where things could go, it kind of fits, and it was just more of a feeling. I think I met him to talk to the staff of the combine, which is another great feeling. I've been a fan. I have a fellow former Bearcat there as well, so it's just one of those things that I talked to my family about. Like it'd be nice to play somewhere where someone also came from our same school years ago. So I didn't kind of answer the question. I only have, the best answer for that one. But if I was, give you an answer, I'd probably the one to give.
Let's go next to Todd Lebo with 810. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Brian, you mentioned the former Bearcat. I'm assuming you're talking about Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Look, he comes back a little bit, right? He was around you guys a little bit during your run to the playoff last year. Tell me a little bit about what being a Bearcat meant to him and kind of any words of encouragement he gave you guys along the way. And then I'll have another one, Brad.
Well, so I actually transferred there from years ago, so I wasn't really there when he got all the speeches, but I'm more of a observer. If that makes sense. Like, you don't have to talk to me as much, just I kind of observe. And with that being said, observing his how he carries himself and the pride he has for the school and the love the school has for him, you can't do nothing but appreciate that. But then we saw him at the Bama game. So it was just things like that. It's moments like that is more important and it has more weight to it than any words you can say. So I never spoke to him personally, but his energy he brings day in and day out is something that is obviously marks who he is, and he showed that in the league day in and day out. So I'm definitely appreciative to have him, as a former Bearcat, and obviously a former teammate now as well.
I'm guessing you'll hear from him soon. Secondly, if you could just describe for Chiefs fans what to expect your playing style to be.
Playing style, I think for me it's not going to change. Do what I do. That being said, the one guy said, would have anybody have any questions for us, like what should we be doing or how you going to use it? I'm very versatile, so I think that whatever throw my way, I'm going to basically work, and make it my own. So that would be something I'm not going to change. We're going to get the same person you see in college. Now it's going to be more inclined to learn certain things to different level, different speed, things like that. But the energy and the style of play definitely won't change. It took me this far, and so why change it up?
Go next to Pete Sweeney with 6'10". Go ahead, Pete.
Brett, I'll have a quick follow-up here. Congrats, Bryan. How much did Steve Spagnuolo really take to the idea that you can play all over the field when you had your discussions with him?
One time?
How much did Steve Spagnuolo really take to the idea that you could play all over the field when you had discussions with him and the rest of the coaching staff?
We honestly didn't really talk about that per se. It was more of I think he was also another observer, like myself, where it's hard to really explain it if you got to kind of be in the moment. But it wasn't to me telling him how versatile it was, because some people they're really good at their job. If that makes sense. So they knew things before I was able to open my mouth. So I didn't have to say anything he didn't really know. I think a lot of conversations, basically seeing who I am in person, the style of play. It took me this far, so I'm not going to change it no time soon. And the great coaches that this staff has, and the organization has, that they definitely do their homework. So they know what they was getting, when they called my phone. So I think that's the most beautiful thing about this whole process.
Yeah, so they knew, and I mean, you've been described as that chameleon type of player. If you had to describe where that comes from, what would your answer to that be?
Well, little story. I said I'm also a transfer. Recently, I transferred from I played corner in my old school at Howard University. So being able to adapt from there and then transfer to safety at a different scheme, different coaches, and all that other stuff, and different playbook, being able to adapt, it helped that process a lot more. And I think just the overall love for the game, you kind of just grasp things and be able to try things. And I think the best quotes I heard so far was still be a kid, and that basically means have fun with it. And but have fun with it. Kids are always into things, trying to figure things out. So I'm very curious a lot of stuff. It was helping me out get better. So I think that's the biggest thing, knowing that I don't know everything and I can get the most information I can by continuing to improve in different areas. That is basically your answer as far as how I became that chameleon, if you will. Appreciate the comment, by the way.
We've got two more, so we'll go Matt McMullen and then Herbie Top. Go ahead, Matt.
Bryan, welcome to the Chiefs, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kind of a similar question, but you're obviously very physical when you watch your games. How much pride do you take in being a physical defensive back?
Very proudful. I hate to say it, it's a game where it's a lot more flash thrown than I watched growing up. So learning how to really still be aggressive but be smart with it is a different type of skill. But at the end of the day, it's a game that I play based on the physicality with it. So finding ways to do that. But being physical was something that I started when I was young. I'll tell you a story about it, but I don't want to take too much of your time. But just know, I wasn't always – I got smacked and things got turned around. So that's basically how that turned to who I am today. But, it's a big part of the game. And I think that major part needs to be remembered, especially those who came before us. When I say before us, obviously the greats, safeties, and people who was physical in the game.
We'll go last to Herbie Top. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Bryan, welcome to Kansas City, echoing everyone's sentiments. If someone were to describe your physical style as a heat-seeking missile, how much would you agree with that evaluation?
That's a great compliment, and I appreciate that. Whoever did say that, I would agree with it. I say that because the safety is a lot of things you have to get done, checks and formations and packages and things you have to basically know. I'm as well move around a lot. But then once it's all said and done, once the ball is snapped and a play, you recognize the play, what it can be. Once you realize that, you gotta be able to trigger. because as a safety, you have to be able to do what a corner does, what a linebacker does. So being the heat-seeking missile, if you will, would definitely helps me out. But I would definitely agree with that one for sure. The locking on, and once you see the play happen and be able to trigger, it's a great thing to have. So that's something I definitely want to continue to work on and continue to improve on.
Bryan, we appreciate you jumping on and taking the time with us, man. That was awesome.
Oh, no problem. Appreciate you guys.
Bryan, I'm going to send you another link, okay, right now. So just have another link to jump on and we'll be done, okay?
Okay, bet.
Okay.